Congregation Emmanuel, Canada's historic synagogue, is located in Victoria's urban core and functions as a hub for outreach to the downtown community. Over the past 10 years, our small social action group, Avodah, has become a vibrant force in Victoria, delivering an ambitious program created to serve those in most need, particularly homeless and underhoused youth and families. The success of our efforts has garnered much attention and numerous requests for advice on how to replicate our program. It's important to us that we share a methodology that is producing unique successes here in Victoria, where the need for social action benefiting the homeless and underhoused is so great. Too often, local efforts depend on the personal knowledge and energy of volunteers currently involved, and their eventual departure risk continuity. This presentation and the accompanying guide are designed as practical and easy-to-use tools, which we hope will help organize, inspire, and inform community groups like yours to implement your own social action initiatives. Since its inception in 2003, Avodah has participated in and launched a variety of social action programs, including preparing and distributing food, providing shelter to underprivileged youth, distributing over 50,000 pairs of socks to Victoria's downtown homeless population, hosting education and outreach events, providing rent subsidies to help families struggling to make monthly rent payments, hosting monthly birthday parties at local shelters, and organizing days of volunteer action. Our inspiration for these activities came in 2003 from our spiritual leader, Rabbi Harry Brechner. Rabbi Harry called on members of our congregation to create a group to translate our spiritual beliefs and values into action, to make real in our community our values to love your neighbor as yourself, to perform acts of loving kindness, and tikkun olam, which means to repair the world. He told us there is still much more holy work to be done, and that we needed a particular vehicle through which we could transform our spiritual lives through doing. That fall, the Avodah Social Action Group was born. One of our first activities was volunteering with Life Cycle's Fruit Tree Project, where fruit is harvested from neighborhood trees and then dispersed among local community organizations to increase food security. Another early initiative was cooking hot meals for the Out of the Rain Youth Night Shelter program, which expanded to provide shelter and food to street youth during the cold, wet months from October to April. We began by providing nutritious casseroles for up to 30 youth once a month. These inexpensive and essential cooking sessions brought people together in common cause to help warm and feed people in need. In the fall of 2009, knowing that Out of the Rain was struggling to find shelter spaces, we took a big step. We opened our synagogue's education center as a shelter one night each week, as well as providing meals on those nights. 7 years earlier, we never would have thought we'd be capable, but confidence gained by working with other groups enabled us to step up, ready and eager for a bigger challenge. Another important initiative for Avodah has been our monthly birthday parties. Eager from the start to partner with other local groups rather than reinvent the wheel, we reached out to Reverend Al Tissick and staff at the Our Place Drop-In Center. We asked them, how can we be of help to you? Our Place was keen to have us host birthday celebrations for the street community. What a great idea! So each month we continue to honor the birthdays of people who may otherwise not observe this special day in their life. With birthday cards, live music, and plenty of cake and ice cream, our enthusiastic volunteers and a couple of hundred members of the inner city family celebrate. When we started, Our Place staff person Bob Frank said, "Consistency is important." And so we made it our goal to never miss a month, no matter what. And we haven't since. Avodah is also recognized for its contribution of socks to Victoria's homeless population, a small but effective way to help members of the street community. The sock initiative was spearheaded by Michael Bloomfield.
I came home from a homeless count in 2005, where I learned that many people on the street have terrible foot health problems because of the lack of dry shoes and socks. I went home and Googled, who makes socks in Canada? Maybe I can try and persuade them to donate some socks. I found McGregor Socks, and I found a willing partner who in late 2005 sent the first 5,000 pairs of socks to Victoria. Since then, they've continued on an annual basis to supply a total of 54,000 pairs of socks. Amazing. What's the secret of our success? It's that we've worked together with local agencies who are serving the needy and the homeless on a regular basis. And we made sure the McGregor Socks felt appreciated for the support that they provided in this community. As a result, we've built a warm and powerful coalition of 36 agencies, local politicians and businesses, and McGregor Socks to help people in need on the street and to show them that their community cares.
One of the things I think that Avoda's done is we've brought together very diverse groups in the city, all doing similar work. The fact that we had all of these socks donated to us from McGregor, and the whole mechanism of getting the socks out brought very, very diverse different groups, from First Nations Friendship Center to, small soup kitchens, really coming to the same place. And it's let us be known in the city.
Today, Kool-Aid remains our lead partner in sock distribution. We were deeply touched when several partner agencies contributed to our 150th anniversary building campaign, and that many other local leaders wrote letters of support. And the fact that we built this community alliance around socks has been impressive to future donors as well, who saw this as an initiative that would be ongoing and has been a catalyst for so much more. Success of our initial programs allowed us to raise some money for Avoda, and in turn enabled us to contribute more. It became increasingly important to us that we do something about housing, which is such a fundamental need. During February 2009, we put on an information and action session called Housing Our Neighbors. Together with speakers from the Victoria Coalition on Homelessness and City Council, we came up with ideas for action. What resonated most was a brilliant, simple, and affordable suggestion from Jim Bennett, a member of the Victoria Real Estate Board and the Victoria Coalition on Homelessness. Supplement the rent of families who need help to get through a crisis. We thought, wow, this is doable, and a small amount of money could actually make a huge difference. We went back to Jim and said, let's do it, but how and with whom? He introduced us to a great community group and partner, the Burnside Gorge Community Association. They have a program designed to do just that, their Homeless Family Outreach Program. And so the Avoda Rent Supplement Fund was born. During July 2009, we began, cautiously wading in with $120 a month to support one family for a trial period of 6 months. Burnside Gorge was a great partner for us, flexible, responsive, accountable, sending us detailed reports on how the money was being spent to help desperate families in the short term, while staff worked with them to get them back on their feet for the long term. We were so pleased that our money was doing exactly what we hoped for. So in December 2009, we renewed our commitment for another year, and together we've been growing strong ever since.
As we've developed over the years, we keep trying to determine what is really needed, what is really important. We've got to keep asking that question, because where we began 10 years ago isn't where we are now. And I think we started out, understandably, and I think rather wisely, starting with very concrete ways we could help people in their dire circumstances with food and with clothing and with shelter. But over time we've gotten to realize that the real issue is poverty, and what can we do to reduce poverty. So that brings us to another level. While we want to continue our work helping people right now with their very real needs, we also want to work with other groups like Faith in Action on issues of how can we pursue justice as well as charity, and create a just and equitable society where people will not have the need to go to food banks and get cans of food and that sort of thing. And so that's a much more complex issue, but we are working increasingly, I think, with how can we get involved in advocacy work to help create the political will to change things in the system so that issues like increasing income assistance, increasing minimum wage, having a living wage, creating employment strategies, childcare, all these kinds of issues that really create or help perpetuate the terrible situation with so many poor people in our communities.
Today, Avoda is strong. We are well organized, deliver meaningful programs, and have built lasting relationships. We continuously engage with our partners so that we can learn about and respond to the ever-changing needs in our community. Avoda is proving to be a practical, soul-satisfying, and powerful way for a small group, together with friends and allies, to live our values and help deal with some local concerns, proving that there is strength in numbers, in synergy, and in intention. Avoda continues to explore new ways to work with and support agencies dedicated to helping disadvantaged people in our community. This is our story, and more than inspire, we want to help others to do the same, to help their neighbors in need. But there is more to our story. We didn't have everything organized and well-planned from the beginning. We struggled at first to set priorities, find and organize volunteers, and to develop partnerships. We know now that success is not the result of good intentions, magic potions, or luck. We, and you, will most effectively meet our goals and achieve good results through commitment, well-organized plans, and by continually inviting others to join. What we know now and would like to share with you are these simple but important tips. The first tip is to gather people together around a clear, shared goal. During your first meeting, it's important for the group to do a community profile, where you assess what is going on, who is doing what, and what might be needed. Next, use your goals to create a shared vision, focused on what you hope to contribute to your community. Then create an action plan, where you outline specific, strategic, and achievable actions you can take within a given time frame. Check that your ambitions and resources are a good match. The SMART framework can be very helpful and is provided in the accompanying guide. As you plan your activities, connect with other groups to form partnerships. Apply for grants from local businesses, governments, and community foundations. Success will increase when you emphasize results rather than process, so make sure to utilize letters of support, photos, and news articles about the need and your previous accomplishments. Be persistent but respectful. Find someone who might be able to help, and then go after them politely and with determination until you get a yes. Show them how you are making a difference and how they can help. Let local leaders and residents know what you are doing. And finally, follow up and follow through.
I think that Avoda has defined our community for ourselves. That these are the values that we hold, and how important it is to not just have values and to teach values, but to really be out there doing. I think it's also brought a lot of pride to the community when we go out and meet other faith leaders or other people who are lay leaders from other faith communities, and this reputation that we have of being small but mighty, of being able to really be a shining example in Victoria of what you can really do when you're determined. And not only that, but when we do stuff, we do it in collaboration. That makes a huge difference. We're not out there just doing it by ourselves. We're bringing in other social action committees. We're bringing in other agencies. And we're doing it together. And I think it's exactly who we're supposed to be here in Victoria as a Jewish congregation.
When we started Avoda, we just wanted to help and hoped we could succeed in some small way. We had no idea this would become a busy two-way street, nor did we imagine how gratifying it was going to be. The personal connections we have made with our neighbors, the street community, and with the good people serving them have added so much to our lives. Avoda's relationship building has been vital to strengthening ties in our community, which have been expressed in so many forms of support for our congregation. Through providing food, clothing, and shelter to the homeless, and collaborating with other faith-based and ethnic communities, as well as businesses and local authorities, We have dramatically enhanced our relationships with those around us and created a much stronger sense of community among all the people and organizations involved. By putting our values into action, Avoda is now recognized as an important partner contributing to the well-being of people in our community. Yes, there are special people and organizations to thank. But this is about community, the collective power of a group of dedicated individuals working together. And that's what makes our story and Avoda so strong and effective. We wish you well in creating your own dynamic and inspiring story. If we did it, you can do it too.